I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. I want to take you into a hearing in the House of Representatives where Democratic Congress member Jim McGovern is questioning MAGA Republican Andy Biggs. And Andy Biggs wants to talk about the Durham report, which was a manufactured hit job by Bill Barr on behalf of Donald Trump to try to attack Donald Trump's political enemies. Donald Trump still hates Bill Barr now for not going along with his election lies. But nonetheless, even in the final Durham report, it basically said the FBI acted too cavalierly. The FBI should have exercised a little bit more analytical rigor. But this was the whole report where they said there's going to be massive indictments and all of this. Not to mention the two cases that Durham brought to trial, he lost, by the way. But I want to show you this exchange right now between Democratic Congress member Jim McGovern and Andy Biggs. Play the clip.
I get where you're coming from. But let's also talk about the Durham report that just came out today.
Yeah, all right.
And let's talk about this as what it is. It's a package of bills that deal with federal and local law enforcement. But it didn't deal with it the way you wanted, so now it's the January 6th issue. I get it. That's all you got. So go ahead. Yeah. Hang your hat on that.
Yeah, you guys made this decision, by the way, before the Durham report came out. I mean, you noticed this bill last week. I don't know whether you had an advanced copy of the Durham report, but I think the Durham report was a colossal waste of money. But let me just point out for the record, since you brought it up, federal prosecutors have secured convictions or confessions from Trump's campaign manager, deputy campaign manager, fundraiser, chief strategist, national security advisor, 2 foreign policy advisors, his personal lawyer, and his accountant. And Trump has been charged with 34 felony counts, and a jury of his peers said that he is a sexual abuser. Special Counsel Mueller issued 25 indictments against Russian nationals who attempted to undermine the 2016 election at the orders of Russian President Vladimir Putin. And I did a cursory reading of the Durham report online. I don't see any indictments. I think a number of you were saying there'd be multiple indictments. I don't know, did I miss something? Were there indictments?
Well, I don't know who said there'd be multiple indictments, but what I do...
Mr. Radcliffe, who was a former colleague who served in the administration, said lots of indictments.
Well, I can't speak for Mr. Radcliffe, but I can tell you that trying to get an indictment out of Merrick Garland is going to be pretty darn hard unless you're a Republican.
And here's the thing. MAGA Republicans simply don't come with the facts. Their whole thing is extrajudicial propaganda. Within the court of law, within formal processes, within things where evidence and facts matter, they can't exist. They purely exist in a propaganda echo chamber like this. Remember that James Comer, the MAGA Republican chair of the House Oversight Committee, said that, there's a whistleblower who has all this information on President Biden. It's going to take President Biden down, right? And based on those lies, the New York Post had a whole cover. All of the media was talking about Joe Bribin is what they said, all based on the lies of a fake whistleblower. Well, guess what? The whistleblower then went missing. Play this clip of James Comer talking about the whistleblower is missing. Play it.
Hold on a second, Congressman. Did you just say that the whistleblower or the informant is now missing?
Well, we're hopeful that we can find the informant. Now, remember, these informants are kind of in the spy business.
So you see Maria Bartiromo. Oh my gosh, the whistleblower is missing. This is MAGA Republican Tim Burchett also admitting that this whistleblower has gone missing. Their super secret whistleblower who's in the spy world has gone missing. Play this clip.
Do you know the whereabouts of the informant?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Is he missing?
Apparently, yes. According to Chairman Comer,
And at the same time, you got these MAGA Republicans on Capitol Hill today talking about disbanding the FBI. That is a major initiative that MAGA Republicans are focused on. And why is that? Because the FBI is focused on domestic terrorism from white supremacists. That's the biggest threat to our homeland. And these MAGA Republicans tell on themselves when that's really the reason why they're upset at the FBI. Because January 6th insurrectionists who MAGA Republicans now sing songs with as part of their January 6th choir were investigated, arrested, and brought to justice by the Department of Justice and the FBI. That's why the MAGA Republicans want to disband it. Here, play this clip of MAGA Republican Representative Chris Stewart saying there's a growing interest in Congress by Republicans to disband the FBI.
But when people say it's time to disband the FBI, to delegate those authorities to others, such as the U.S. Marshals, there's a growing number of people in Congress who begin to feel this way. And the reason being is, as we go back to accountability, they look at what they've done in the last 10 years. My gosh, you could go back to Martin Luther King and then blackmailing Martin Luther King. And then we ask, well, are they going to do it again in 2024? And if they aren't, or if they intend to, how do we plan to stop them? And once again, for those who say, maybe the FBI, we could delegate those authorities and actually completely defund them, you can understand why American people feel that way about that.
Yeah, I mean, completely and utterly baffling what the Republican Party has become today.
60% of U.S. pork production comes from one company owned by China. And their hogs, they're given something called ractopamine, which is banned in 160 countries, including China. Yet you find this in your grocery store aisle every day. There's a better way. I'd like to tell you about Moink. That's moo plus oink. Moink delivers grass-fed and grass-finished beef and lamb, pastured pork and chicken, and sustainable wild-caught Alaskan salmon straight to your door. Moink farmers, they farm like our grandparents did. And as a result, Moink meat tastes like it should because the family farm, it does it better. The Moink difference is a difference you can taste, and you can feel good knowing that you're helping family farms stay financially independent too. I love that Moink is helping save rural America, and I know that you will too. Join the Moink movement today. Shark Tank host Kevin O'Leary called Moink's bacon the best bacon he's ever tasted. And Ring Doorbell founder Jamie Siminoff jumped at the chance to invest in Moink. Plus, they guarantee you'll say, oink, oink, I'm just so happy I got moinked. And I know I do, and I know you will too. Keep American farming going by signing up right now at moinkbox.com/MeidasTouch. Right now, and listeners of this show get free bacon in your first box. It's the best bacon you'll ever taste, but for a limited time. Spelled MOINK box.com/MeidasTouch. That's moinkbox.com/MeidasTouch.
Oh, and by the way, I got to show you this. This is MAGA Republican Representative Michael McCall, who was just on ABC, who made this absurd claim regarding Donald Trump refusing to say that he wants Ukraine to win. And McCall's like, well, what Trump really meant is that the counteroffensive is going to be so successful that there will simply be a ceasefire. That's not what Donald Trump meant. But play this clip.
Situation. Okay, you've been a staunch ally of Ukraine in fending off the Russian aggression. I want to play something that Donald Trump had to say at his town hall meeting this morning about it. This week.
Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I don't think in terms of winning and losing. I think in terms of getting it settled so we stop killing all these people.
Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying.
What do you say to that? He's your Republican frontrunner right now.
Well, and I think Donald Trump...
And he can't say whether or not he wants Ukraine to win against Russian aggression.
I think he always thinks in terms of winning and losing. I will say this. I think what he is thinking is that this counteroffensive, which is happening soon, will be so successful that we can have a ceasefire and maybe get to a negotiating phase.
And again, facts versus lies. Facts matter. I want to show you this interview of, let me show you this one. This is Nikki Haley right here. And Nikki Haley, MAGA Republican who's running for president, she's asked a very simple question on Face the Nation. If she thinks it undermines the Republican Party that their front runner has just been found legally liable for sexually abusing women. And Nikki Haley goes, yeah, I'm not on the jury, so I can't answer that. Here, play this clip.
I want to ask you, as a conservative woman, do you think it undermines your party if the Republican frontrunner is someone who was just found liable, legally liable, for sexually abusing a woman.
I have always said that anyone that feels like they have been sexually assaulted in any way should come forward and have their voice heard. I also think anyone that's been accused should be able to defend themselves. I was not on the jury. I am not the judge. I think that both of them had their voices heard. There has been a verdict and there's been an appeal. And,
President Trump was
that's for Trump to defend, and that's Trump to decide that.
He gave a deposition, but he didn't go in to defend himself, and it was a jury that came to this conclusion. Are you drawing into question the legal findings?
No, I said there's a verdict, and I think there's been an appeal, and I think it stands where it stands, and I think the American people need to make a decision based on that.
Right. The answer is yes. Why can't you just say yes? Because the MAGA Republican Party has become a cult, and they are so fearful and just so afraid that Donald Trump's going to send a mean tweet or a mean truth social media post, right? The same person who was too cowardly to even show up at his own trial, who fled to Scotland and Ireland like the little coward that he is. That is who the MAGA Republicans are scared of, because at their core, they are very weak people. And I want to show you one more video now. Remember how MAGA Republicans, and then it was echoed by the media, said as soon as Title 42 expired that there was going to be a massive invasion into the country, and that Trump's immigration policy was just so good, and that if Title 42 expired, by the way, Title 42 is not actually even an immigration policy. It is a communicable disease policy that Donald Trump invoked to try to turn that into an immigration policy. It's not what it has nothing to do with immigration in actuality. But remember, they were all trying to paint this nightmare scenario. Well, since Biden's plan has been implemented and Title 42 expired, the exact opposite has happened. Encounters at the border are now down about 50%. And facts matter. So let me show you Alejandro Mayorkas, U.S. Homeland Security Secretary, explain it. Play the clip.
You are getting regular updates from the southern border. What is the latest with regard to border crossings? And do you believe the surge has peaked?
Again, over the past 2 days, the United States Border Patrol has experienced a 50% drop in the number of encounters versus what we were experiencing earlier in the week before Title 42 ended at midnight on Thursday. It is still early. We are in day 3. But, we've been planning for this transition for months and months, and we've been executing on our plan, and we will continue to do so.
So it's too early to say whether the surge has peaked.
It is too early, but the numbers that we have experienced over the past 2 days are markedly down over what they were prior to the end of Title 42.
What are the numbers, 5,000?
So we have seen, I think, approximately 6,300 on Friday and about 4,200 yesterday by the United States Border Patrol. And we saw over 10,000 before the end of Title 42 earlier last week.
Why do you think that is?
Because we have communicated very clearly a vitally important message to the individuals who are thinking of arriving at our southern border. There is a lawful, safe, and orderly way to arrive in the United States that is through the pathways that President Biden has expanded in an unprecedented way. And then there's a consequence if one does not use those lawful pathways. And that consequence is removal from the United States, a deportation, and encountering a 5-year ban on reentry and possible criminal prosecution.
Folks, facts matter. Truth matters. Law and order matters. I don't, as I show you these clips of these MAGA Republicans and I compare it to, Democrats like Alejandro Mayorkas, and I show you Democrats like Jim McGovern, the contrast is so obvious. The contrast is just so clear. And it's that contrast that we need to show continuously, because it isn't just, a both sides thing and all. No, there is a massive difference between a fact-based pro-democracy party and whatever the MAGA Republicans are, some Trumpy cults, bizarre. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Thank you so much for watching. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your incredible support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Wherever you get audio podcasts, make sure you subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast as well. Thank you so much for watching. Hit subscribe on our YouTube channel.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.